Hey, what's going on everybody? This is Noble, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my Mathmech deck profile. So I had done a Mathmech deck profile a few months ago. It feels like it's been forever actually. But I just wanted to revise it because it looks a lot different than the one I ran back then versus the one I'm running now. Mathmechs are budget-ish for the most part. Edition's a little bit expensive, more expensive than the other ones at least. And then the Exceed, that one Exceed, I can never remember his name. He is sitting at like 20 or 25 bucks, unless he's gone down the last week or so. I haven't really checked. But yeah, I mean, they get out a really amazing boss monster and Final Sigma. Really, really awesome card. One game's just him alone. I really like playing this deck. It's really cool look, cool mechanic. Yeah, not much to say. Let's get into this. But really quick before we get into it, I just want to show off this really awesome toon mat that Mega Mat's made for me. Really, really cool. Toon Dark Magician, Toon Blackluster Soldier, and then Toon Kingdom over here. Really awesome. They also do cloth if you want to get you a cloth playmat, or maybe just a rubber one. They can do 2-player playmats as well. You can use my code NobleChaos10 at checkout. Save yourself 10%. Helps out the channel, and it gives them an order. So it's a win-win-win all around. So without further ado, guys, let's get into this. So to start this off, we are playing Triple Addition. Addition is really cool. You can target one face-up monster on the field. You cannot special monsters for the extra for the rest of this turn except Cyber's monsters. And then also special summon this card from the hand, but it cannot attack this turn. And then if you do that, the targeted monster gains 1,000 attack until the end of this turn. You can only use this effect of Mathmech Addition once per turn. This card is really cool, being able to get a body out in the field, being able to boost up one of your monsters by 1,000 attack. That's really cool. It does lock you into Cybers, which it's not a huge deal, like 90% of the time, but do keep that in the back of your mind just in case you want to go into something that's not Cybers. Also playing Triple Mathmech Subtraction. Now, I've seen people playing a double of both of these. To me, personally, I just think 3 and 3 is better. I've tested with both. I like this one better. If you'd rather run 2, that's fine. It doesn't mean you're playing it wrong or anything. It's just your preference. That's fine. But me personally, I think 3 is the way to go. You can target one face-up monster on the field. You cannot special summon monsters for next turn for the rest of this turn, except Cyber's monsters, and also special summon this card from your hand, but it cannot attack this turn. If you do, take a guess at what this one does. The targeted monster loses 1,000 attack to the end of this turn. You only use this effect of Mathmech Subtraction once per turn. So you get a body out in the field, and one of your opponent's monsters, hopefully you're going to be targeting one of your opponent's monsters, will lose 1,000 attack as well. So that is really cool. Running triple of Mathmech Sigma. Sigma is kind of unique. He's just really cool. If you control no monsters in the extra monster zone while this card is in your hand or graveyard, which is important, keep that in mind, you can special summon this card, but then you banish it when leave the field. And then you can't special summon monsters from the extra deck from the rest of this turn except Cyber's monsters. You can only use this effect of Mathmech Sigma once per turn. The really cool thing about this card is if this card you control is used as synchro material for a Mathmech monster, you can treat it as a non-tuner. So it is a tuner or a non-tuner, literally kind of whatever you need it to be if it's being used as material for a Mathmech monster. So that is really cool, and it's easy to get out in the field, and it can come in from the graveyard as well. So that's awesome. I do think Maximum Sigma is the way to go. I'm running double Mathmech Nabla. Nabla is awesome, in my opinion. You can tribute a Cyber's monster, especially on a Mathmech monster from your deck. If this card is sent in the graveyard, you can target one Cyber's monster you control in the extra monster zone, and it can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase this turn. You only use each effect of Mathmech Nabla once per turn. That is really, really cool, being able to, target something and say, hey, this can attack up to twice now, and a lot of times your guys will be big and beefy anyway, so that's awesome. I'm running one multiplication and then one of something I could never do in my life and still can't, division. Multiplication is awesome because you can target level 4 Cyber's monsters you control, and as low it becomes 8 until the end of this turn, so it can really help you get to go into Final Sigma. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target a Cyber's monster you control in the extra monster zone. Its attack becomes doubled until the end of this turn. You only use each effect of Mathmech Multiplication once per turn. Really, really great effects all around multiplication. And then division, you contribute a Cyber's monster you control in the extra monster zone, special summon up to one level 4 Cyberus monster, each from your hand and graveyard. If this card is sent in the graveyard, you can target a face-up monster on the field. Its attack becomes halved until the end of this turn. You only use each effect of the Mathmech division once per turn. And then also running double Mathmech Diameter. This is the newest of the Mathmech cards. It's a Cyberus tuner. When this card is normal summon, you can target one level 4 Cyberus monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but it cannot activate the effects. A Mathmech monster that was synchro or exceed summon using this card on the field as material gains the following effect. Then once per turn during the turn this card was special summon, when your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can negate that effect. You can only use each effect of Mathmech Diameter once per turn. So it's really cool because it basically gives that monster a quick effect Omnigate for that turn, which is really, really cool. And it's a tuner as well, so that's really awesome. So moving away from the Mathmech stuff, we're playing triple Balancer Lore. This card is freaking great. Once per turn, you can pay 1,000 life points during your main phase. This turn, you can normal summon one Cyberus monster in addition to your normal summoner set. So basically, it's like a double summon pretty much. You only gain this effect once per turn. If this card is banished, you can special summon one level 4 or lower monster from your hand. You can only use this effect of Balancer Lord once per turn. I am opting to run triple Flame Buffalo. I really like this card. I'm actually playing it over Lady Debug, which, you know, don't fume at the mouth. If you want to run that card, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, especially if it gets reprinted as the gold letter rare. That's really awesome. It definitely needed it. But I like Flame Buffalo because if this face-up card leaves the field, you can discard a Cyberus monster, and if you do, draw 2 cards. You only use this effect of Flame Buffalo once per turn. Again, if you would rather run Lady Debug, that's fine. You could do that. That's not a problem at all. I'm running triple copies of Parallel Exceed. Parallel Exceed is really great in a lot of decks, and especially this one. If this card is special summoned by the effects of Parallel Exceed, its level becomes 4 and its original attack defense become halved. You can only use each of the following effects of Parallel Exceed once per turn. If you link summon, you can special summon this card from your hand to your zone that link monster points to. If this card is normal special summon, you can special summon one Parallel Exceed from your deck. Now, this card is really cool, and it really helps you go into some extra deck plays a lot easier. I'm running 3 blank cards, and what these blank cards would be is the microcoder. I literally have 30 microcoders at least, and I cannot find a single one. And I spent like 30 to 40 minutes looking for them. So I was just like, you know, hopefully they'll understand. Hopefully you guys understand. These should be microcoder. If you actually have the cards, play it. Don't do this. But, you know, until I get my life together and able to find my bulk, this is what I'm having to deal with. Big monster count, by the way, in case you were wondering. For the hand traps, I'm running triple Draw and Lock. I really like Draw and Lock because your opponent gets that one search, yes, but you're like, hey, you get that card, but that's your last one. They don't get any other searches from the main deck for the rest of the turn, and that can be absolutely devastating to most meta decks for the most part. I myself have definitely lost to Draw and Lock, just definitely, you know, no pun intended, locked me out of my deck, and I can't get the searches of the pieces I need unless I open up with a God hand. And then also on top of that, I'm just running double Ash. If you wanted to max these out, that's fine. I just didn't want too big of a deck count. I think this is at 43 deck count, which, you know, for me personally, that's kind of pushing it anyway. So I didn't want to do too much, but yeah, triple Draw and Lock and then double Ash is what I'm running. So moving into the spells, we're done with the monsters now. Big monster count. Running triple Silent Mining. Silent Mining is amazing. It's like the Rhoda for Cyberus. You send one card from your hand to the graveyard, add one level 4 or lower Cyberus monster from your deck to your hand. You can only activate one Silent Mining per turn. I mean, that's it. Really simple effect, but freaking amazing card. Really cool to see how the price of this card has changed. You can get super rare for super cheap now. You can get the secret rare for like $12 now if you want to do that. But this card just really helps out the consistency a ton. Definitely recommend you run 3 of this for sure. I'm running 1 Equation. I really almost bumped up Equation to 2. A lot of people don't even play Equation, but I love this card because it's the built-in Monster Reborn for the deck, but it's better. You target a Mathmech monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and if you do, it gains 1,000 attack till the end of this turn, and you only activate 1 Mathmech Equation per turn. This card is really cool, and I've won games with it alone. Just that attack boost for the rest of this turn is really cool. You know, if you don't run this, that's fine, but I really like Equation. I like it a lot. I'm running double Mathmech Billion Blade Nayuta. I've gotten heat for this before. I really don't care. I love this card. And when your opponent finds out what this card does and how much advantage you gain off of this card, they're going to try to out it. That's why I play double. Some people don't even play this card at all. And you have to each your own, that's fine. But I really like this card. I'm playing double. So if you don't know what Billion Blade Nayuta does, you equip it only to a Cyberus monster. If the equipped monster battles an opponent's monster during damage calculation, you can send one Mathmech monster from your deck to the graveyard. The equipped monster gains attack equal to the sent monster's attack until the end of this turn, even if this card leaves the field. If this card is sent from the field, from the spell and trap cards in the graveyard, you can target one Mathmech card in your graveyard, set another copy of this card, and add it to your hand. You can only use each effect of Mathmech Billion Blade Nayuta once per turn. So the really awesome thing about Nayuta is not only are you gaining that attack value, you're also firing some effects off directly from your deck if you choose, because if you send multiplication in the graveyard, your monster's attack is going to double for the rest of the turn, which is awesome. If you send Nabla to the graveyard, your guy is going to be able to attack up to twice during each battle phase this turn. And if you send Division to the graveyard, you're going to be able to have one of your opponent's monsters attack, and then your guy's going to gain 1500. So it's really cool because you're going to be able to gain that tap value and then fire effects off straight from the deck as these cards are sent to the graveyard. And that's why I run 2, because your opponent's going to see all the advantage you're gaining off of this, and they're going to be like, nah, bro, let's stop that. I don't like that. And that's why I run 2 of this, because having a second one is really cool. I've literally, like, you know, my opponent would out one, the next turn I'd go into the next one, which is pretty frustrating for them. So again, if you don't even want to play Nayuta, that's fine, but I do like running double of that card. And then I'm running one Foolish Burial as well. You send one monster from your deck to the graveyard. That's pretty self-explanatory. Alright, so moving into the traps, don't play a massive trap lineup at all. I'm playing one Mathmech Super Factorial. This card is really cool. I've heard of some people not liking this card. I really like this card a lot. You target up to 3 Mathmech monsters in your graveyard, different names, and then you activate one of 2 effects. You special summon them, but their effects are negated, and then immediately after this effect resolves, you synchro summon a Mathmech synchro monster using only those monsters as material, and then you shuffle the materials into the deck instead of sending them back to the graveyard. Or you special summon them, but their effects are negated, then immediately after this effect resolves, exceed summon one Mathmech Exceed monster using only those monsters as material. And you only activate one Mathmech Super Factorial once per turn. This card is really great, and I've actually been saved by this card a few times as well. And then lastly, just running triple Imperm. This card is awesome. If you have it, definitely recommend you running it, because it can really save you. If you don't have it, run some Fate Leather or something like that, you can get around it, but it is a really great card. It's sitting about $19 a piece now, I think, for the gold ones. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, I'm running one Link Disciple. You tribute one monster. This card points to, and then draw a card, then place one card from your hand on the bottom of the deck. You only use the effect once per turn. One Link Devotee. If this card is special summon for the rest of this turn, you cannot link summon Link 3 or higher Link monsters. If this co-link card is tributed, you can special summon 2 Link tokens. And then one Almirage. If you wanted to run a Link Karibo or the other one, you could do that, but me personally, I really like Almirage quite a bit. I'm also running one Splash Mage as well. Splash Mage, what it does is you can target a Cyberus monster in your graveyard, special summon defense position, but negate its effects. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn, except Cyberus monsters. You only use this effect once per turn. One Cyberus Wit Kid, one Code Talker Inverted, one IP, and then of course with IP you always have to run one Unicorn as well. I'm also running one Access Code as well as one Abramax. Really cool running Access Code in this one because it's like the ultimate Cyberus monster. It can win you games. If you don't have this card, you can maybe run Apollosa instead, or just run an Abramax if you want to. Abramax is super affordable, and this card can really win you games. Really absolutely love this card. And I'm also running a few Exceeds as well. Definitely running, I don't know how to say them, but this one and then this one. I'm not even going to try. I can't even say normal names. I'm not even going to try to say those. But this one's really cool because it's 2+ level 4 monsters. You can tribute one monster, especially a level 4 Mathmech monster from your hand or graveyard. If this card is Exceed summon, you can you can detach 2 to 4 materials from this card, then activate the appropriate effect. If it's 2, you add a Mathmech card from your deck to your hand. 3, add one level 4 monster from your deck to your hand. Or 4, add a special summon monster. Add a spell and trap card from your deck to your hand. And you'll use each effect of this guy once per turn. And what the other one does is, if a Mathmech card or card you control will be destroyed by a card effect, you can detach material from this card instead. If this card is Exceed Summon, you can detach up to 3 materials from it, then choose that many effects. You cannot choose the same effect twice, and you resolve them in the listed order, skipping any that were not chosen. Send 1 random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard. Send 1 monster your opponent controls to the graveyard. Send a spell and trap card your opponent controls to the graveyard. I've won with this card, actually. I remember very specifically getting past Blue Eyes Chaos Max with this one, because Blue Eyes Chaos Max cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects, and this just sends a monster your opponent controls in the graveyard. It gets by literally almost all card effects except like Raid Raptor or Ultimate Falcon, basically, that is unaffected by card effects, pretty much. So this is really cool. This card can actually get you out of a bind really easily. If you wanted to run double of this one, you could do that. I think this one's the more expensive one, if I remember correctly. At least it was. I haven't really checked prices in a while, but I'm pretty sure that was like the $20 one. I'm running 1 Magma. I really like Magma a lot. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can target up to 2 cards your opponent controls and destroy them, which is really cool. If this card is destroyed by battle, or if this card in its owner possession is destroyed by opponent's card effect, you can add 1 Mathmech spell and trap card from your deck to your hand. You will use each effect of Geomathmech Magma once per turn. If you'd rather swap that out for a Borload Savage, you could do that. You just have to be careful to not get locked into Cyberse, but it is possible to go into this card. So if you'd rather do that, that option is there. And then lastly, I'm just running double Geomathmech Final Sigma. Final Sigma is awesome. Yes, I'm running double of this one because I've actually used 2 before in a duel. So it's unaffected by unaffected by card effects except Mathmech cards, which is awesome because it can gain attack and stuff like that. You can equip it with Billion Blade Nayuta, which is really, really awesome. So it's unaffected by card effects except Mathmech cards while it's in the extra monster zone. If this card in the extra monster zone battles an opponent's monster, any battle damage it inflicts to your opponent is doubled, which is freaking amazing. If this card is destroyed by battle, or if this card in its owner possession is destroyed by opponent's card effect, you can add 1 Mathmech card from your deck to your hand, and you only use this effect once per turn. So unaffected by card effects as long as in the extra monster zone, does double battle damage, and it has an amazing float effect where you can grab any Mathmech card from your deck to your hand. But yeah, guys, that is it for the deck profile. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you're here and you haven't already done so, go ahead and subscribe. I would absolutely love that. Hit the bell so you become part of the notification team so you don't miss anything that goes on this channel. And if you watched this video and you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Not only does that make me really happy, it makes me sleep well, but on top of all of that, it allows my videos to circulate around YouTube, which is extremely crucial to a small YouTuber like myself. We are extremely close to 2K. I think we're like, at time of recording, like 140 away or something like that. I never would have thought, like, March will be a year. I never thought we'd hit, like, I never would have thought we'd have hit 2K before March. Like, that's insane. The first year, guys, you guys are amazing. It's nothing to do with me. It's all thanks to you. Thanks so much for watching. I love you. I'll see you in the next video.